When it comes to power plays, manipulation, and long-term revenge, no one does it better than Victor Newman on The Young and the Restless. And on Tuesday, April 21st, everything begins to shift in a big way. At the Newman Ranch, Victor sits down with Victoria and Michael Baldwin, and right away, you can feel the tension in the room. This isn't just another business discussion, this is the beginning of a calculated takedown. Victor doesn't waste time. He lays out the first phase of his plan against Phyllis Summers, and it's ruthless in its simplicity. Instead of attacking directly, Victor decides to strip Phyllis of her power piece by piece. His first move? Her employees. Victor and Victoria have already taken action behind the scenes, quietly approaching key members of Phyllis's workforce and offering them something they can't refuse: money, security, and a clean exit. And it works. According to Victoria, Phyllis is about to lose the majority of her staff, leaving Summers' conglomerate hanging by a thread. Michael listens carefully, but there's a clear sense of unease. He knows Victor well enough to understand that this is just the beginning. And he's right. Because Victor isn't just playing a business game anymore. He's bringing something new into the equation, something dangerous. A powerful AI program. Victor reveals that this technology has been designed to uncover, or possibly even construct, criminal evidence against Phyllis. And not just vague accusations. We're talking about detailed, traceable proof. Digital trails. Conversations. Messages. Including a very specific exchange involving Billy Abbott and Kane Ashby, dating back to the time when Phyllis was still in control of Chancellor. The implication is clear. Victor plans to use this AI-generated evidence to back Phyllis into a corner so tight that she'll have only two choices left. Hand over control. Or face prison. It's a chilling strategy, and even Michael, who has stood by Victor through countless schemes, starts to question whether this one goes too far. He voices his concern about the AI program. What if it gets out of control? What if it crosses a line that can't be undone? But Victor doesn't hesitate. In his mind, the outcome justifies the method. Still, Michael has another concern, and this one is personal. Lauren. He makes it clear that she had nothing to do with Phyllis's questionable decisions, and he doesn't want her caught in the fallout. Victor, surprisingly, shows a rare moment of acknowledgement. He admits that's exactly why he called Michael in. This is a warning. A chance for Michael to protect Lauren before everything explodes. And the message is simple. Get her out, while you still can. After Michael leaves, the conversation shifts. Victoria brings up Nikki. She suggests that if they're about to reclaim Newman Enterprises, then Nikki should be there, standing beside them. But Victor shuts that down quickly. He insists that Nikki doesn't want to return to that world. Whether that's true or not is another question. But for now, Victor makes it clear the family will have to adjust without her. Meanwhile, across town at the GCSE, things take a different turn. Christine Blair reconnects with Danny Romolotti after his trip to Barcelona, and what starts as a casual conversation quickly turns into something more significant. Christine reveals that the current district attorney is stepping down due to health issues. And she's been asked to step in and finish the term. It's a huge opportunity, but also a complicated one. Because stepping back into that role means stepping back into a world full of conflict, pressure, and difficult decisions. And it doesn't take long for those complications to surface. Daniel arrives just in time to hear the news, and his reaction is immediate. He starts wondering what this could mean for Mariah's situation. If Christine becomes DA again, could she influence the outcome of Mariah's plea deal? Christine is quick to clarify. That decision won't be hers alone. It will go before a panel of judges, making it a much broader legal process. But she also shares her honest opinion. Devon's attempt to overturn the deal? It's a long shot. Still, Christine can't ignore the possibility that Devon's actions might not just be about justice. What if he's pushing Mariah intentionally? What if the real goal is to break her, to push her so far that she ends up behind bars? That idea lingers in the air, unsettling, but not entirely impossible. And just as that tension settles in, Michael arrives. He confirms something important. He was the one who recommended Christine for the DA position. Which means this entire situation may already be more connected than it seems. Back at the center of all this chaos, Phyllis. At first, everything seems fine. Business is booming. Confidence is high. But that doesn't last long. Because suddenly, the emails start coming in. One after another. Resignations. Department heads walking away. Key employees leaving without warning. And then more. And more. Until it becomes impossible to ignore what's happening. Phyllis isn't just losing people. She's losing control. And deep down, she already knows who's behind it. Victor. The first phase of his plan is working perfectly. And Phyllis? She's only just beginning to feel the impact. As the shockwaves begin to hit, Phyllis quickly realizes this isn't just a minor setback, it's a full-scale attack. Back at Newman Enterprises, what started as a normal, successful day suddenly spirals into chaos. At first, Phyllis tries to stay calm. She tells herself this is manageable. People leave companies all the time, it happens. But this? This is different. The volume of resignations is overwhelming, and more importantly, the timing is too perfect to be a coincidence. Within minutes, her inbox becomes a flood of bad news. Department heads, senior staff, longtime employees, all gone. And they're not just leaving quietly, they're leaving immediately. No transition. No notice. No explanation that makes sense. That's when it hits her. This isn't random. This is targeted. Phyllis immediately shifts into damage control mode. She starts making calls, reaching out to potential replacements, offering higher salaries, better benefits, anything to stabilize the situation. But one by one, the answers come back the same. No. Unavailable. Already committed elsewhere. And suddenly, the pattern becomes clear. Victor didn't just take her employees. He locked down the replacements too. Every qualified candidate she can think of has already been approached, or worse, secured, by Victor's network. It's a complete shutdown strategy. And for the first time, you can see real panic starting to set in. Lauren soon arrives, and she doesn't sugarcoat what she's seeing. She connects the dots almost instantly. Victor has cornered the market. Not just in talent, but in timing. He's cut off every possible escape route. Phyllis tries to push back, insisting she can outbid him. That she can still rebuild. But even she doesn't sound convinced anymore. Because this isn't about money. This is about control. And right now, Victor has all of it. After Lauren leaves, Phyllis continues making calls, refusing to accept defeat. But every conversation leads to the same dead end. Every door is closed. And with each passing moment, Summer's conglomerate moves closer to collapse. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Genoa City, tensions are rising in a completely different way. At the Park Cafe, Devon Winters is reaching a breaking point. His emotions are raw, his frustration is visible, and when Abby confronts him, things quickly spiral into a heated argument. Abby can't believe what she's seeing. This isn't the Devon she knows. He's colder. Sharper. Almost ruthless. She questions his motives, especially when it comes to Mariah. Does he really want justice? Or is this something else? Something darker? Devon doesn't deny it. In fact, he leans into the idea in a way that shocks Abby. He suggests that maybe sending Mariah over the edge wouldn't be the worst outcome. That maybe prison is exactly where this situation is heading. Abby is stunned. Mariah is her friend. Someone she cares about deeply. And hearing Devon talk like this, so casually, so harshly, crosses a line. She calls him out, telling him he's acting like someone she doesn't even recognize. But Devon doesn't back down. Instead, he responds with sarcasm, throwing out a comment about inviting Mariah over to babysit Dominic as if to mock Abby's loyalty. That's the breaking point. Abby fires back, calling him out for being cruel, for being completely out of line. And just like that, Devon walks away. Angry. Frustrated. Unwilling to see her side. But they're not alone. Daniel witnesses the entire exchange. And from the look on his face, it's clear this situation is only going to get more complicated. Back on the legal front, the pressure continues to build. Christine is still weighing her decision about stepping back into the district attorney role. It's not just about career anymore. It's about everything that comes with it, including the ripple effects on ongoing cases. Especially Mariah's. Even though Christine has made it clear that she won't have direct control over the outcome, her presence alone could shift the tone of the entire situation. And everyone knows it. Michael's earlier recommendation now carries even more weight. Because if Christine accepts the position, it could reshape the legal landscape in Genoa City. And that's exactly the kind of shift that could either help or completely destroy someone like Mariah. But while legal battles and personal conflicts are heating up, the biggest storm is still forming. Because Victor isn't done yet. Not even close. Everything happening right now? It's just phase 1. The employee walkout. The hiring freeze. The isolation of Phyllis. That was the setup. What comes next is something far more dangerous. Because Victor is preparing to unleash the second phase of his plan. And this time, it won't just hurt Phyllis's company. It will threaten her freedom. That AI program he mentioned? It's not just a concept anymore. It's ready. And once it's activated, it will begin compiling or possibly constructing a case strong enough to destroy Phyllis completely. Digital evidence. Private communications. Hidden connections. All of it pulled together into a narrative that paints Phyllis as guilty. And if Victor gets what he wants, it won't matter whether it's entirely true. All that matters is that it looks real? And in a world where perception often becomes reality, that might be enough. As the day comes to an end, the balance of power in Genoa City has clearly shifted. Phyllis is no longer in control. Devon is losing himself in anger. And Victor? Victor is just getting started. By Wednesday, April 22nd, the pressure is no longer building. It's exploding. Across Genoa City, every storyline begins to collide, and the consequences of Victor Newman's plan start becoming impossible to ignore on the young and the restless. And at the center of it all? Phyllis Summers. After the devastating wave of resignations, Phyllis is now standing in what feels like the ruins of her own company. Summers' conglomerate is barely functioning. Departments are empty. Communication is breaking down. And the few remaining employees are overwhelmed, trying to keep things afloat without leadership, structure, or support. But if Victor thought this would make Phyllis quit, he clearly underestimated her. Because instead of backing down, Phyllis digs in. She refuses to surrender. Even as everything around her starts falling apart, she holds on to one belief, that she can still fight her way out of this. That she can rebuild. That she can win. But Victor and Victoria aren't about to let that happen. Victoria, in particular, seems almost energized by the chaos. She decides to take things a step further, not just watching Phyllis struggle, but confronting her directly. And not in a supportive way. This is a calculated move. A psychological push. When Victoria approaches Phyllis, the tone is immediately tense. There's no pretending. No polite conversation. Victoria goes straight for the weak point, the employee walkout. She brings it up casually, almost mockingly, as if it's already a done deal. As if Phyllis has already lost. Phyllis, of course, fires back. She insists that this isn't over. That she's dealt with worse. That she won't be taken down so easily. But Victoria doesn't flinch. If anything, she seems amused. Because she knows something Phyllis doesn't fully understand yet. This is only the beginning. Victoria hints that a much bigger blow is coming, something that Phyllis won't be able to recover from. Something final. And even though she doesn't reveal the full plan, the message is clear. Victor is about to finish what he started. Phyllis tries to stand her ground, but there's a crack now. A small one. Barely visible. But it's there. Because deep down, she knows Victor doesn't make empty threats. And if he says something worse is coming, then it is. Meanwhile, Victor himself is moving forward without hesitation. He's not second-guessing. He's not slowing down. He's following through. Everything he promised, the destruction, the takeover, the complete dismantling of Phyllis's power, is now in motion. And this time, there's no turning back. But while the corporate war intensifies, another kind of drama is unfolding elsewhere. One that's far more personal, and potentially just as explosive. It starts with Nikki Newman and Jack Abbott. Over time, their connection has grown stronger. They've leaned on each other. Supported each other. Shared moments that blurred the line between friendship and something more. And on this day, that connection deepens once again. They find themselves alone, talking, opening up, and getting closer. Closer than they probably should. There's a vulnerability in the air. A sense of comfort. But also, a sense of risk. Because neither of them exists in a vacuum. There are other people involved. Other relationships. Other consequences. And right on cue, those consequences arrive. Diane Jenkins walks in. And what she sees stops her cold. From her perspective, the situation between Jack and Nikki looks compromising. Too close. Too intimate. Too familiar. And given everything that's already happened, especially the recent tension involving Patty Williams on the yacht, Diane is already on edge. This is the last thing she needed to see. Her reaction is immediate. And intense. There's no benefit of the doubt. No calm conversation. Just anger. Frustration. And a sense of betrayal. She turns on Jack first, questioning him, confronting him, demanding answers. But Nikki isn't spared either. Diane's anger extends to both of them, and the confrontation quickly escalates into something messy. Something emotional. Something damaging. Because whether the moment was truly inappropriate or simply misunderstood, it doesn't matter. What matters is how it looks. And right now, it looks bad. For Jack. For Nikki. And for Jack's already fragile marriage. This moment doesn't just create tension. It threatens to break something completely. And as the fallout begins, one thing becomes clear. This isn't going away anytime soon. Back on the business front, the storm continues to build around Phyllis. Because while she's dealing with Victoria's taunts and her company's collapse, she still has no idea what's coming next. The AI program. Victor's most dangerous weapon. It's ready to be deployed. And once it is, everything changes. Because this isn't just about taking a company anymore. It's about taking down a person. Reputation. Freedom. Future. All of it is on the line. And the worst part? Phyllis won't see it coming until it's too late. As Wednesday's events unfold, every storyline moves one step closer to a breaking point. Phyllis is fighting a losing battle. Victoria is pushing harder than ever. Victor is executing a plan with no mercy. And in another corner of Genoa City, Jack and Nikki are facing consequences they never expected. Everything is connected. Everything is escalating. And the fallout? It's only just beginning. By the time everything reaches this stage, one thing is clear. There is no slowing Victor Newman down on the young and the restless. What started as a calculated business move has now turned into something much bigger, something far more dangerous. Because Victor isn't just trying to win anymore. He's trying to end this.
Completely. And the key to that final move? The AI program.
Up until now, it's been talked about in pieces, hinted at, questioned, even doubted.
But now, it's no longer theoretical. It's active. And it's working.
Behind closed doors, Victor begins putting the system into motion, allowing it to dig deep into past records, communications, and connections tied to Phyllis Summers.
But this isn't just about uncovering truth. It's about building a case. A story.
One that connects every questionable decision, every shady alliance, every moment that could be twisted into something incriminating.
And at the center of that narrative? Phyllis.
The program starts assembling digital trails, messages, call logs, fragments of conversations, including that critical link between Billy Abbott and Kane Ashby from the time Phyllis held power at Chancellor.
Individually, these pieces might not seem like much. But together?
They form something dangerous.
Something convincing. Something that could be used as leverage.
Victor reviews the progress, and there's no hesitation in his expression.
No doubt. To him, this isn't crossing a line. This is strategy. Precision. Execution. But elsewhere, the emotional fallout from earlier events is beginning to spiral. After walking in on Jack and Nikki, Diane Jenkins can't let it go. The image is stuck in her mind. The closeness. The tension. The feeling that something wasn't right. And the more she thinks about it, the worse it becomes. She confronts Jack again, this time with even more intensity. Her words are sharper now. More personal. She questions his loyalty. His honesty. His commitment to their marriage. And Jack? He tries to explain. He insists that what she saw wasn't what it looked like. That nothing inappropriate happened. That she's reading too much into the moment. But the problem is, from Diane's perspective, this isn't just about one moment. It's about a pattern. A growing connection between Jack and Nikki that she's been noticing for a while now. And this? This just confirmed her fears. The argument escalates quickly. Voices rise. Emotions take over. And any attempt at calm, rational conversation disappears. Because at the core of it all is trust. And right now, that trust is cracking. Nikki, on the other hand, finds herself caught in a situation she never intended to create. She didn't plan for Diane to walk in. She didn't plan for things to look the way they did. But intentions don't always matter. Perception does. And now, she's forced to deal with the consequences of a moment that may have crossed an invisible line. Even if she didn't realize it at the time. Meanwhile, back in the corporate battlefield, Phyllis is still fighting. Still pushing. Still refusing to accept defeat. But the reality is becoming harder to ignore. Her company is barely functioning. Her resources are limited. And every move she makes seems to hit a wall. She tries once again to secure new hires, reaching out, negotiating, offering more than ever before. But Victor's influence is everywhere. Every candidate she approaches is already out of reach. Locked in. Unavailable. Or simply unwilling to get involved in a situation that's clearly turning into a war. And that's exactly what this is now. A war. But one that Phyllis didn't realize she was losing until it was too late. At the same time, Lauren begins to feel the pressure from all sides. After her earlier conversation with Michael, the warning is still fresh in her mind. This situation isn't going to stay contained. It's going to spread. And if she doesn't step away now, she could be pulled into something much bigger than she ever intended. Michael made that clear. Victor made that clear. And now, the signs are everywhere. Summers' conglomerate is collapsing. Victor is tightening his grip. And whatever comes next won't be clean. Won't be simple. Won't be safe. As all these threads begin to tighten, the tension across Genoa City becomes almost unbearable. Every character is standing on the edge of something. A decision. A consequence. A breaking point.
Victor is closer than ever to reclaiming Newman Enterprises.
Phyllis is closer than ever to losing everything. Diane and Jack are closer than ever to a complete breakdown. And Nikki?
She's caught in the middle of it all, whether she wants to be or not.
The pieces are in place. The plan is unfolding. And the fallout? It's about to hit harder than anyone expects. Now everything comes down to this. The final stage.
The moment where every move, every decision, every secret begins to collide on the young and the restless. And at the center of it all is Victor Newman's endgame.
By now, the trap has been fully set.
Every piece is in place.
And Victor is ready to close it.
Behind the scenes, the AI program has done exactly what it was designed to do.
It has gathered information, connected dots, built a narrative.
One that paints Phyllis Summers in a very dangerous light. What started as scattered fragments, conversations, digital exchanges, questionable alliances has now been shaped into something far more powerful.
A complete case. One that looks real. One that feels undeniable. And most importantly, one that can be used.
Victor reviews everything carefully, knowing that timing is everything.
Because this isn't just about exposing Phyllis. It's about breaking her. Cornering her. Leaving her with no way out. And when the moment is right, he makes his move.
While Phyllis continues trying to hold her crumbling company together, she suddenly finds herself facing something she didn't expect.
Evidence. Serious. Damaging. Potentially life-altering evidence. At first, she doesn't even process it. It doesn't make sense. Where did this come from? How is this even possible? But the more she looks at it, the more real it feels. The connections. The details. The timeline. Everything lines up in a way that's almost impossible to ignore. And that's when the realization hits her. Victor. This is Victor.
He didn't just go after her business.
He went after her entire life.
Phyllis tries to fight back, to deny it, to find some way to discredit what's being presented.
But this isn't something she can just talk her way out of. Because even if parts of it are questionable, even if parts of it aren't entirely accurate, it looks convincing enough to destroy her. And Victor knows it. That's the power of this move. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be believable.
Soon, the pressure becomes unbearable. Phyllis is faced with a choice she never thought she'd have to make.
Keep fighting, and risk losing everything.
Or give Victor what he wants.
Control. Power. Newman Enterprises. Because now, the threat isn't just financial. It's personal. It's legal. It's permanent.
And for the first time in a long time,
Phyllis is truly cornered.
Meanwhile, as this massive confrontation builds, the emotional fallout from other storylines begins to explode as well.
The tension between Diane Jenkins and Jack Abbott reaches a breaking point.
What started as suspicion has now turned into something much deeper.
Resentment. Hurt. Distrust. Diane can't shake what she saw.
And no matter how much Jack tries to explain, it doesn't change how it made her feel.
The image of him with Nikki. That moment. It lingers. And it hurts.
Their conversations become shorter.
Colder. More distant.
Because the truth is, something has shifted between them.
Something important. And once that kind of crack appears, it's hard to repair.
Jack, on the other hand, finds himself frustrated and exhausted.
He knows he didn't cross a line, at least not in the way Diane believes.
But he also can't deny that his connection with Nikki has grown stronger. And that alone is enough to create doubt.
To create distance. To create problems that won't just disappear.
Nikki, caught in the middle, is left dealing with her own emotional weight. She never intended to complicate Jack's marriage. She never intended to become part of this kind of conflict. But intentions don't erase consequences. And now, whether she likes it or not, she's part of the story. A story that's becoming more complicated by the day. Back in the legal and personal arena, the ripple effects continue. Christine is still facing her decision about returning as district attorney, but now the stakes feel even higher. Because everything happening around her, the tension, the cases, the shifting alliances, is pointing toward one thing: change. And not the kind that comes easily. If she steps back into that role, she won't just be observing events. She'll be part of them. Influencing them. Living inside the consequences of every decision she makes. And with situations like Mariah's hanging in the balance, that responsibility becomes even heavier. At the same time, Devon's downward spiral is far from over. His anger, his frustration, his willingness to push things further than before. All of it suggests that he's not done yet. And if anything, he may be heading toward choices that can't be undone. Choices that will affect not just him, but everyone around him. As all these storylines collide, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Genoa City is changing. Power is shifting. Relationships are breaking. And the lines between right and wrong are becoming harder to see. Victor is closer than ever to reclaiming everything he lost. Phyllis is closer than ever to losing everything she built. And everyone else? They're caught somewhere in between. Trying to hold on. Trying to make sense of it all. Trying to survive what's coming next. Because if this week has proven anything, it's that nothing stays hidden forever. And when the truth, or something that looks like the truth, finally comes out,